Okay, so for the backstory for Jules, calls, we talk. He says, I want to do personal training. And I say, listen, man, where are you training at? He tells me, and I say, okay, I think you'd be better off in one of my classes. He's very adamant that he'd rather do personal training. He says he's been doing personal training for 3 or 4 months, once a week, with the owner of this other gym, and that the classes will be, in a sense, a waste of time. My reply was very simple. Listen, I know what he charges for personal training, and I know what I charge for my classes. And the way my classes are structured and the way that we teach and what we teach, you're going to learn more in our group classes than you're going to learn in the last 3 or 4 months of your personal training. And if you don't come into class on that first day and learn more than you've learned in the last 3 or 4 months of doing PTs at that other gym with that other trainer, I'm going to give you a month free. And I myself will throw in 2 personal training sessions with you, essentially giving away almost a $300 value on the basis of one 45-minute class. Is that cocky or is it confident? Is it believing in your product, believing in your process, and knowing what you do and what you deliver in comparison to everyone else? Jules accepted the challenge. He came in for his first class, and from the moment he started, he was a little lost. His stance wasn't quite correct. He didn't know how to shadow box, and when it came to our process in class, when we got onto the bags, we always start with a little bit of exaggerated shadow boxing or easy work for the first round to kind of get our heads into the mode of punching, hitting something, slipping and rolling, and making contact. After we started shadow boxing, Jules was a little lost. So once we got on the bag, he was also a little lost, a little out of sorts. He turned to me and he said, "Can you tell me what to do? My trainer always tells me what to do." Well, trainers can tell you what to do, but sometimes, especially in boxing, you have to use your imagination. You have to flow. You have to be adaptable. You have to take things that you've been working on, whether it being in classes or with your personal trainer, and apply that on the bag on your own. That's the beauty of boxing. That's one of the things about this sport, that you can do it all by yourself, with a trainer or in a group setting. But if you haven't been taught the simple tools of how to shadow box, how to hit the heavy bag or the speed bag on your own, then your trainer is really doing you a disservice. They're not giving you the full, authentic experience of what boxing is. So I gave him a few things to do, and he did them to the best of his ability with the knowledge he had at that time. And he gives me an opportunity to see what level he's at. And to be honest with someone who's been doing personal training for 2, 3, 4 months, even once a week, he should have been a little bit further along than what I saw. So when we broke up to partner drills, I put him with Ted, who I mentioned before is one of my best, but also one of my worst members. And I say that with the most endearing intentions. Ted is proof that our system works, even if Ted cannot execute on the things that he is asked to do because of his own limitations. He still has the wherewithal and the ability to correctly communicate the process to someone who is just starting out. And that's a testament to our system. That's a testament to our coaching. So Ted worked with Jules for 20 minutes, but 10 minutes into it, Jules looked at me and he said, "This guy could kick my ass." And I said, "That's not the goal here. The goal is to get better." But do you remember our phone conversation? And I said, if you don't learn more in one class here than you've been learning in the last 4 or 5 months of personal training, I'm going to give you a month free. And then I said, have you learned more today than you've learned in the last 4 months? And Jules said, yeah. So I let him get back to work with Ted. And when the class was over, he walked up to me and he said, "Hey man, that was great. I loved it. Sign me up." And he's been with us, as you heard him say, 7 or 8 months, which time flies. And I get that, but it's so refreshing to hear. It's so nice to have that kind of response. It's so nice to have that kind of effect on someone's journey. And let me tell you this, isn't a condemnation of anyone else. This isn't coming from a position of being a hater. This is coming from a position of knowing your worth, of knowing what you're capable of knowing, as they say, what you bring to the table. We know what we can do for our members because we know what we've done for our members. And we're going to continue to do that. So I hope you've enjoyed the story. I hope it helps you make an easier decision about where you need to go and what you need to look for when you're looking for a trainer yourself.